I seldom watch sports on television, but I did happen to see the preview of the closing play of the game, the NFL football game last week between the Minnesota Vikings and my old team, the San Francisco 49ers. The clip, which I saw on YouTube over and over again, featured the iconic former Green Bay quarterback, Brett Favre. You know, the guy that's retired and unretired and retired and unretired, the guy you either love or hate. Anyway, final seconds of the game, and San Francisco is leading the Vikings by 3 or 4 points, just literally seconds clicking off the clock until the game was over. And Brett Favre throws a pass downfield into the end zone about 30 or 40 yards, and they win the game. And it was really a thing of beauty, both the throw and the catch. And whether you love the guy or hate the guy, he's just one of those guys that's always been a game changer. Kind of like other pro athletes from years gone by. Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky or Barry Boggs. Guys who with one throw or one swing of the bat could change everything. Well, this morning I want to talk to you about being a game changer, but I want to use the phrase in a little different way. Not someone who can turn the game around, but someone who can maybe change the rules of the game, or if necessary, change the game altogether. You see, we're all playing it, this game. It's called the game of life. It is the great human drama in which we're all actors and players. The only question for us is who's going to make the rules, who's going to write the script, and who's going to write the musical score for the game of our life. Let me read a text from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 16 through 19. But to what will I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplace and calling to one another, "We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We wailed, and you did not mourn. For John came, neither eating nor drinking, and they say he has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, look, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Yet wisdom is vindicated by her deeds." Well, here Jesus is telling the story of a group of children speaking in the voice of children who are hard at play. Do you remember what it was like to be hard at play when you were a child? I do. The boys went off and they played army or something, and the girls went off and they played dress up or something like that. And I can remember my own daughter when she was 8 or 10 years old orchestrating fashion shows for the entire neighborhood. It was wonderful. It was a world unto itself. There were some kids who went off and played doctor, but you could get in trouble for that. So you had to well, whatever the game was, I can always remember in my own family running to mom, and a group of children were intent on playing a game, but there was one who didn't want to play, and we'd say, "Mommy, Johnny doesn't want to play the game that everybody else wants to play. You need to make him play." Well, the children in this story were hard at play, and they were playing a couple of kind of unusual games. They were playing funeral, and they were playing wedding. Well, there are some kids that still play wedding. Now, you be the minister, and I'll be the groom, and you be the bride. But not many kids today play funeral. Well, back in those days, funerals were a much more public and prominent part of the culture. Well, here they were, hard at play. But the story describes these children as complaining and petulant children. It seems that there were a group of kids who didn't want to play their game. And so the writer says, we played the flute for you, and you didn't dance. We wailed, and you didn't mourn. You didn't want to play along. Well, the allusion here in the story is to John the Baptist and to Jesus, because they weren't playing along. They weren't dancing to the music. And so the text says, well, John came and he neither ate nor drank, and you called him you said he had a demon, and Jesus came and he did eat and he did drink, so you called him a drunkard and a friend of sinners. So they were essentially trying to say, John needs to loosen up a little bit because he takes himself and his religion too seriously, and Jesus needs to tighten up a little bit, to be a little more respectful, a little more religious, a little more discriminating. Too many friends in low places, too many parties, etc. You need to play by the rules of the game. John came, and Jesus came, and it seems they were dancing to a different tune, marching to a different drum. They were both mavericks who broke from the pack and defied cultural and social and religious expectations in their attempt to be faithful to their true calling and to God.